Hey guys! Welcome to Critical Beauty Salon. On this vlog, I will give a recap and review of the first edition of Miss Charm, which took place in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam on February 16, 2023. The winner was Luma Russo, a 27-year-old pilot, model, and makeup artist from Brazil who bested 37 other contestants. Miss Charm is also the first international pageant to be organized and produced by the Vietnamese. But before I continue, please click the subscribe button below if you haven't subscribed yet and tap on the bell icon below to get notification for my latest video. Let's start with the opening number. I thought the opening number was quite entertaining with cute bubblegum type of music playing in the background while the performers play out common scenes from daily Vietnamese life. One of the three co-hosts, Karina Ramos, who was a former Miss Universe Costa Rica 2014, enters the stage on a motorbike taxi pedaled by a driver and greets the audience. This was followed by the opening dance number of all 38 contestants wearing red and silver cocktail dresses. Besides Karina, the other two co-hosts were Phuong Mai and Queen Nga. But Karina did not join her Vietnamese co-hosts most of the time. For some reason, I felt that the two Vietnamese co-hosts were competing against each other for attention, and some of their exchanges seemed contrived and very dry. I mean, just because they spoke good English does not mean that they were totally successful engaging with the English-speaking audience. Though I give them credit for not relying so much on their cue cards and read mostly from the teleprompter. Now, let's talk about the judges. Following the trend of Miss Universe, the Miss Charm organizers invited an all-female judging panel that consisted of Miss Charm President Nguyen Thi Thuy Nga, Mimi Morris, a Vietnamese-American businesswoman and philanthropist, Irene Zhao, a Singaporean model and influencer, and four beauty queens, Miss Universe 2005 Natalie Glebova, Miss World 2015 Mireya La Laguna, Miss International 2012 Ikumi Yoshimatsu, and Miss World Vietnam 2015 Lan Kue. Natalie never looked so beautiful, and she hasn't aged a bit. During the announcement of the top 20 contestants, Phuong Mai only read the names of 19 contestants. A few minutes later, before the swimsuit competition, Mai said that the contestant Tan Tan Huyen of Vietnam was added to the top 20 after an exchange with the judges. Meanwhile, co-host Kyun Nga repeatedly said the top 21 contestants would enter the swimsuit competition, even though there were only 20 women on the stage. The announcement appeared confusing and unprofessional to many viewers, including myself. Now, during the top 20 swimsuit round, Argentina didn't hear her name called the first time. Karina called on the Netherlands, but Philippines came out instead. Some fans, especially the Dutch, questioned whether this was a mistake or an accident because they hoped that the representative would advance in the semifinals. Then Karina finally realized her error and said, "Annabelle McDonald, Philippines," just a few seconds before Annabelle exited the stage. I do love the two-piece swimsuit style with off-the-shoulder straps and accessorized with a sarong. In this competition, the girls that stood out for me were Argentina, Dominican Republic, South Africa, Philippines, Russia, and Venezuela. This segment was followed by a backstage interview of Philippines and Mexico. Karina called out the top 10, which included these lucky ladies. While the top 10 finalists were getting ready for the evening gown competition, a pre-taped video was shown featuring all of the contestants wearing the áo dai, the traditional dress for Vietnamese women, as they sashayed on stage in pairs. I actually enjoyed this segment because it showcased the Vietnamese concept of feminine beauty and sophistication. So the Vietnamese co-hosts asked the judges what they thought of the top 10 so far. Nguyen's answer was brief and awkward. They also asked who their favorites were. Then they asked what it would take to win the crown. Miss Universe 2005 Natalie Glebova said that during the swimsuit round, she was impressed by the physique of Costa Rica and the Dominican Republic, but also added that she liked the personality of Philippines and South Africa. Miss International 2012 Ikumi Yoshimatsu hesitated for a moment to reveal her favorite, but eventually mentioned Colombia. And Miss World Vietnam 2015 Lan Kue did not reveal her favorite, but intimated that the winner should be universally appealing, confident, and willing to work. Now, if there's anything that I dislike the most in the pageant is when the host asks the judges who their favorites are. So if you're going to have a fair pageant, the judges should not be announcing their favorites because they will only end up influencing each other. I mean, I couldn't imagine the contestants not hearing the opinions of the judges. I think they could hear them, especially if there were TV monitors backstage or even in the makeup room. So if your country is not mentioned as a favorite by a judge, how would you feel? Will your level of confidence drop, or will you ignore the judges and keep on focusing on winning the competition? Also, I noticed that the judges were not writing down notes or scoring. Some of them were checking their iPhones or video recording the show, which makes me wonder if the judges were actually judging or that they were only used as props to give the impression that the pageant is legitimate and that the winner had already been predetermined. Things that make you go, A pre-taped video of the girls attending various activities and promoting Vietnamese culture was shown. During the top 10 evening gown competition, I noticed that there were several gold, silver, and white gowns, and many of them actually looked beautiful and expensive. This competition is the moment when the finalists could demonstrate their poise, personal style, elegance, confidence, and of course, charm. My favorites in this segment were Argentina, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Indonesia, and Venezuela. Just before the co-hosts announced the top 6, Judge Irene Zhao revealed that she liked Miss Dominique, Dominican Republic, because of her short hair and that she's charismatic. Then the top 6 were announced in this order: Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, Philippines, South Africa, and Indonesia. Now, one of the things I hate about international pageants is the lack of good interpreters, and this was obvious in this pageant. Venezuela relied on an interpreter who botched up her answer. Even Mireya was not impressed with the translation when Natalie seemed to ask what she thought of it. The interpreter left the stage, leaving Colombia to answer in English. While trying to fetch the interpreter, Natalie was forced to improvise and ask Colombia a random question. What successful woman has inspired you? Colombia answered well in English and said that the artist Shakira has inspired her. Brazil's question was, if you win Miss Charm 2023, what will you do to connect and to promote different cultures of the world? She responded in flawless English and stated that she would break language barriers. Philippines' question was, what is your definition of a Miss Charm? She answered that Miss Charm is someone who looks beyond the difficulties in life and works hard to overcome them, while sharing her story growing up in a poor family. She spoke with so much conviction, although a little dramatic. South Africa's question was, what is your solution to maintain and develop sustainable tourism? Even though the content of her answer seemed substantial, her delivery was rather fast, and honestly, I wasn't even sure if the audience understood what she was saying. Indonesia's question was, what is your solution for acculturation without the concept of cultural appropriation? Good question. She said that to get out of cultural appropriation, we have to give credit to the culture that does not belong to us. With that good response, she received very strong applause from the audience. This segment was followed by the final look on the top 6, followed by a video of all the contestants wearing their national costumes during the preliminary competition. For the announcement of the top 3 finalists, the organizers invited artist Pham Hong Min to draw portraits of the top 3 on stage instead of calling their names. This was certainly a unique way in announcing the top 3, which were Indonesia, Philippines, and Brazil, because it heightened the suspense and captivated the audience. However, I felt that it was kind of too long and unnecessary. When it was time for the final question to be asked, the top 3 finalists, the question was, every morning when you wake up, what do you think is the meaning of your life? What are you living for? I think all 3 finalists gave a substantial and convincing answer, but I think Brazil's response about freedom, to me, was the most profound.
If I had to sum it up in one word, freedom. Freedom being able to travel where you want, be who you want, do what you want, be the woman you were meant to be, follow your dreams. To be able to achieve the knowledge, not only academically, but the knowledge of culture, of emotional intelligence, to be able to reach your full potential. Thank you.
This segment was followed by a video of the new crown designed by Mexican jewelry designer Ricardo Patraca. The crown is reportedly worth $150,000 US. From this point on, Karina rejoins the 2 Vietnamese co-hosts to announce the final results, while the judges come up on stage to assist in the coronation. 2 subsidiary awards were announced. Cambodia won the Best National Costume, while South Sudan won the Best in Ao Dai. The funny thing is that neither contestant received any tangible award on stage, much less their faces shown on live TV. When it was time to announce the official results, Olivia Tan of Indonesia was proclaimed second runner-up, followed by Annabelle McDonald of the Philippines as first runner-up, and then by Luma Russo of Brazil as Miss Charm 2023. Now, here's a thought. With the pageant's heavy promotion of blockchain technology, the winner of Miss Block Charm was not even mentioned during the entire show. I thought it was a little strange. Don't you agree? Overall, from a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give the first edition of Miss Charm a 6. Only because I think that there's plenty of room for improvement, such as better hosts, preferably a man and a woman co-hosts next year, a better script, preferably one that does not confuse the hosts and the audience, a truly inclusive panel of judges that includes at least 2 men, better musical numbers, and please no more asking the judges for their favorites because it arouses suspicion that the pageant could be rigged. In other words, make next year's edition more charming. And as far as the winner goes, even though she wasn't even on my top 5 list of favorites for the crown, I think Luma Russo will make an amazing Miss Charm. And there you have it, my recap and review of the first edition of Miss Charm. Do you agree or disagree? Comment below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, and share so YouTube will recommend it. Thank you for watching, guys. Until the next time, bye!